Welcome everyone to the D&C Real Estate Show. I'm D.
I'm C.
What's going on, man?
Hey, just hanging in there. How about you?
Oh man, trying to make $1 out of 15 cents.
Staying busy, that's what it's all about.
So our topic today is how do we become vested in a house? How do you take title?
Okay.
So it's 3 ways to take title. Actually, it's a 4th way, but I'm not going to get into that 4th way. But it's 3 ways to take title. It's tenant and severalty, joint tenant, and tenancy in common. Okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to let you talk about not joint tenant, but I'm going to let you talk about tenant and severalty.
Okay.
So once you start off with that one, and we're going to go from there.
Well, tenant and severalty is actually pretty simple. So that's just for one particular individual. So if you're going to be vested on title as a single woman or a single man, that's what that means.
Yes.
So now let's talk a little bit about tenants in common and joint tenancy. They sound similar, but they actually have very different meanings.
Oh, absolutely.
If something is to happen to one of the parties.
Okay.
So David, why don't you talk a little bit about those 2 items?
Okay. Joint tenancy, in simple layman's term, when people are married, you have a spouse. I'm married. We take it to joint tenancy. If I die, you get the house.
Okay.
Okay. So, but if you have 3 people, say we have 3 people on title, a third go here, third go here, a third go here.
Okay.
So one person dies, my interest goes away and it's divided between those other 2.
Okay.
Most people just know if I'm married, I die on joint tenancy, it goes to my wife.
Okay.
Now, tenancy in common is a little bit different. Actually, a lot different.
Sure.
So, make sure your realtor sit down and talk to you about what tenancy in common is. Now, it might happen a lot when you have, say, 2 owners. I want to buy this house. I have 2 owners. I want to buy this house. I have a family. They have a family.
Sure.
Okay. So, it's kind of like, so if I die, everything in my family, I get to keep that interest and it goes down to my family.
Okay.
And if you die, same thing, that interest there. And somebody can actually buy your vested interest in
Wow.
that property. But that's,
okay.
and I don't know if we want to get into that. But it works when 2 families are getting together. And you have really 2 owners, and I have a family, they have a family, we're buying a house together. So when I die, really my family is taken care of.
Okay.
Or you have 2 families that kind of merge together and they don't really trust each other as much in the marriage. If I die, I give everything to you, you give it that. You can have it go down to your family members or your siblings.
Okay.
From there. Okay. So yeah, it's kind of, so it's really legality reasons why you really need to talk to a lawyer in regards to those 3 terms there.
Sure.
Because that's what really get deep. And when you look at estate planning, when you're talking about estate planning, tenancy in common,
sure,
versus joint tenancy, it's huge.
Yeah, that makes a big difference. You're basically just losing your rights to the property when you pass and joint tenancy to that other party. So
right.
It is better that it be a husband-wife scenario. If you have
that's the simplest way, yes.
If you have 2 investors going in on a property like you and I, like you were saying before, you probably want to be tenants in common because if something happens to me, then my family can take over the vested interest in my portion of the property.
And also, too, what people don't know in tenancy in common also, too, you're just talking about investors. I'm putting, say on the $300,000, I'm giving $200,000, you're giving $100,000.
Yep.
You can have a certain percentage of interest in that property.
Yeah, see, that's a new one to me, and that's good information.
And a lot of people don't know that, so that's something to think about.
Okay.
Well, that's about it on that topic.
Okay.
All right, why don't you give me your information?
Hey, well, thanks everybody for tuning in. I'm Calvin with Fairway Independent Mortgage. Reach me direct at 720-364-9726. Apply online at loansbycalvin.com. look me up on Facebook and Google at Loans by Calvin. How about you, David? How can everybody get a hold of you?
All right, David Babineau, Caldwell Banker Realty. Phone number is 303-903-0395. You can go on my website, mynewhomeincolorado.com, or you can hit me up on social media, therealestateman247.com. Have a blessed day, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, bye-bye.